My adult children refused to associate with my wife and our daughters. My adult children have rejected my wife and our daughters. What should I do? When my first wife passed, I thought I would be alone for the rest of my life. However, 5 years ago I met this wonderful woman in her early 30s at a party. She made me feel young and fulfilled, and we subsequently married and now have 2 girls who are 3 and 1. My kids from my first wife are all grown and in their 20s. They have never accepted my wife and our daughter and have refused to meet them. They accuse me of abandoning them and never loving my first wife. Because of our age gap, they refer to my wife as a trophy wife, and my oldest daughter went as far as to compare our marriage to prostitution and told me she only wanted my money. They don't acknowledge our girls as their sisters, and I'm afraid about what will happen to them as they grow up knowing their siblings want nothing to do with them. My older son decided to have me and his siblings over after everyone is vaccinated. I asked him to invite my wife and the girls in order to bury the hatchet. He said no, as he didn't view them as family and any thought of them is unpleasant. He said that having a separate relationship was the best compromise, as I can have my marriage without them having to associate with my wife and daughters. This has been very hurtful to me and my wife, who is also invested in the girls having a relationship with their big brothers and sister, and thinks that talking them into therapy will allow us to be a family together. If anyone has been in this situation or has any advice, it would be greatly appreciated. Your little kids are not at all going to be damaged in childhood or phased in later life by not having a relationship with people who are 20 years older than them that they have never met. If anything, they'll be more traumatized by watching their dad's health fail early on in their lives. My dad married someone 8 years older than me. I was 16, she was 24, he was late 30s, and kept pushing for me to have a relationship with her. We no longer speak, and I've never met his wife or his 2 sons. That's your future with your older kids if you don't let go of the fantasy that they'll accept your wife. You can't force it. Up is 57. Wife is 36. Wife doesn't work. Honestly, the kids are not wrong. Your adult children are exactly that, adults. They're entitled to their own thoughts and feelings, and you can't force love. The fact that they're already adults means they'll likely never see your wife as a motherly figure, and especially the fact that she's closer in age to them than you is never going to help. Just because your wife has this image of a perfect family with your children fawning over their new baby siblings doesn't mean your kids should go to therapy because they don't see it that way. Promise you, the more you push this issue, the further away your kids will be from you. Exactly how old are you? How soon after your wife passed did you start seeing your now wife? How was your relationship with your children when you started dating her? Did you know their feelings about her before you got married? There's a lot of info being glossed over here, and it seems like you're just asking why your kids are angry without really divulging the details of you getting married to and having children with a woman a few years older than your own children. So, to sum up, shortly after their mother died, you remarried. That woman is significantly younger than you, 20 years or so. Your new wife is more similar in age to your children. You didn't do anything to assuage your kids' concerns while you were dating, and just hoped they'd come around. Your kids don't like her because her Facebook is pretty vain and shallow, showing off gifts from you and her sorority girl phase, which was apparently well into her 30s. You did not get a prenup. You immediately had 2 kids with her. You, and she, are primarily worried that your new kids will lose out by not having their siblings in their lives. You apparently have not made any effort to mend fences, besides demanding that your wife be invited to stuff, for the aforementioned benefit to the younger children. Is it any wonder your older kids aren't feeling great about this? You need to take a real look at your choices here and apologize if you want any hope of a relationship with them. Okay, so let's unpack this real quick, shall we? 1. You married, not dated, married someone after 2 years of your first wife's death. 2. The person you married is closer in age to your children than it is to you. You are in your middle 50s, she is in early 30s, so a 20-year gap. 3. Right after you married you had 2 daughters. So very quick-paced relationship. 4. Honestly, even if the above stuff didn't happen, such age gap would have prevented any kind of sibling relationship that would be of any significance. I understand why your children don't want contact with your wife and their half-siblings, and if you want to stay in any kind of contact with them, I'd respect their wishes. No longer attracted to my boyfriend because of all the emotional damage he's done. I was with my boyfriend for 6, almost 7 years. During that time he would block me for other girls when casual, made me a side piece for 2 years. When I found out, told me I ruined his happiness and blocked me. Whenever I tried to talk about it, he would stonewall me. I decided to stop bringing things up to him to avoid that. The only issue is nothing got solved. Everything that happened still feels like yesterday. I'll have moments I'll cry about it. During intimacy at times I feel like I'm about to get a panic attack. He's very attractive but I don't see it anymore. Part of me hates him for how he treated me. Should I bring this up to him? Does it sound like he wasn't that into me in the beginning? Is a breakup better than trying to work through this? You deserve so much better than this. You need to break up before he further damages your self-esteem. He is using you. Please do what you need to do to reclaim your self-worth. I have no self-esteem, but I had guys ask me out a lot recently. I see my friends with guys that love them and I'm jealous. Usually I turn down guys because I love him, but then now I feel I can't do this anymore. I want someone who loves me back. I have no self-worth either, so I'm a little scared to date, but I guess it can't get worse than this. Thank you, heart. How can you tell he's using me? Nah, you don't have to bring up shit with that useless, worthless twat. Just ghost his pathetic ass. He isn't worth the time of his own existence. You deserve way better than some horn-dogging douchebag who obviously never gave a fuck about his relationship with you from very get-go. Honestly, just buried his number and him from your life and start on the path of your own joy and happiness away from that loser. You deserve to be the center of your own life. It sounds like this person is deeply insecure, afraid of loneliness, and addicted to power and control. Classic fuckboy behavior. You deserve better and it's out there. I would personally cut this person all the way out and free myself up for someone better, if being in a relationship is something you want. I want a relationship and to be loved for once. Not played with till I am empty with no self-esteem. This isn't the life I want. I'm a nice person, I don't deserve this. How is he into power and control? You really put up with this for almost 7 years, 0. Why on earth are you still with him? You should have broken up years ago. This isn't fixable, and he isn't fixable. Don't be with someone who wants to be with someone else. How do I 24F convince my friends that I am not a victim of racism? I 24F am German and black. I was born in Germany and my parents were adopted by Germans when they were infants. I have never had a desire to follow my ancestry and find out where I am from because I consider myself a German. I have a fairly large friend group, around 20 and above. The main problem is that my friends are mostly Americans, due to the fact that I went to international school because my mum was a teacher there, are convinced that I have been manipulated and brainwashed to not see racism and that I am a victim. Their comments are now increasing due to the situation in America, and this is not only affecting me but our other black friends who all live in Europe. This all went too far when our friends tagged us in a post about workplace racism. My boss and I are friends on FB and this has caused me a lot of issue at work. Everybody is extra friendly and a few co-workers have even come up to me and tried to apologize for anything they might have done. I really don't want to lose my friends, but between the post and them accusing me of raising my son to be white, I really want to cut them off. But before I make such a drastic decision, I would like to know how to fix this issue. Update: I didn't want to make a new post but just wanted to say thanks to everyone who commented. Most of the advice given was helpful and gave me a new perspective on the situation. I video chatted with my friends a few hours ago and I basically told them that they have no right to speak for me and that not all black people have the same experience. They were actually really ashamed and apologetic when me and a few other confronted them. So we have banned all talks of politics in our group chats and no tagging social media. Anybody who breaks this rule will be cut out from the group. No second chances. I personally don't talk about politics due to the nature of my work, and since we are all from different countries, we have decided that this is the best way to proceed. You are the expert on your own life. Your friends should respect that and stop trying to project a narrative onto you. That just feels really inappropriate and tone deaf. Also, a little bit racist, don't you think? This is, you guessed it, racism. How does it feel to be treated like you're helpless? I assume like shit. Cut them off, it's not your problem that they want to be white saviors. I would first start with changing the privacy settings on Facebook. There is an option that lets you approve or deny posts from appearing on your profile when you get tagged. Second, I'd address the elephant in the room at work. Maybe try to bring it up casually or loudly that you have been dealing with annoying friends pushing their agenda on you online. Or take the direct approach and explain yourself. Third, either stop being friends with them or tell them they can't push their agenda on you and the implications that come with pushing a false agenda, i.e. work tension. Explain that their problems aren't everyone's problems and it's not their job to tell you how other people treat you. I promise not all Americans are like that, but I'm sorry you had to deal with that. From a person raised in America who is living in Germany currently. Explain to your friends that you are German and not African American. Tell them that you find it offensive that they are lumping you together with African Americans and judging you based on your skin color. Really don't want to lose my friends, but between the post and them accusing me of raising my son to be white, definitely bring up this accusation as well. Don't make this talk with them accusational if you can, and instead talk about how hurt you are by how they are judging you based on your skin color. Tell them that you're raising your son to be German and not white, and again you find these accusations incredibly hurtful and a little racist. Unfortunately, many of these overly woke social justice warriors don't even realize how they are often making things a lot worse even when they have the best of intentions. Anytime they bring up the subject, remind them that you are neither African nor American. You are German, as are your children. Then tell them they need to get their own racism in check, because trying to deny your lived experience based on their assumptions of race is racist.